Okay, I'm going to try one last time to see if I can wrap up whatever day this is of Handmade Hero, day 72. So far, so good. I'm afraid to start writing code because the second I do, I'm manifesting it again. But the second I start writing code, I'm going to start dropping frames. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah, I don't know. What do you even do with that? I actually manifested it. We got an hour in and I was like, wow. Opened my big dumb mouth. I said, nothing's gone wrong with the stream. An hour in, I just start getting paranoid that we're going to run into internet issues or Windows is going to crash. Any one of a half dozen stupid things that happens with software that causes me pain and misery. And then I went on a rant about how ever since I became a dad, I just hear crying everywhere. Like I'll run out of the office because I think I hear one of the kids crying, and everybody will be just sitting happily. You know, the toddler will be playing with his toys. The baby will just be, you know, flopping around on his play mat. My wife will be crocheting something or whatever. You know, maybe she's doing a chore. Everything's fine, but for some reason I'm just like hearing phantom cries. And it's like the same thing. I can feel when the internet is gonna or technology is somehow gonna confound me. Sounds like the intro to a horror movie. That's just my life every day. I also have nightmares all the time, but we don't need to talk about that right now. So let's keep moving forward. See if we can wrap up today. There's only like 15 minutes left, so it's just like, wow, I couldn't have. The internet couldn't have hung in there for just a little bit longer so I could wrap up the stream. Nope, wasn't meant to be. If this keeps happening, I'm gonna have to seriously rethink what to do as far as the format of the channel, because I'm not going to deal with this every single day. And it's been like 3 streams in a row between Windows crashing yesterday. I think we had the internet drop on Friday last week. We'll see how this week's Friday stream goes. And if that's also a disaster, then I'm just going to have to seriously reconsider things. I was just thinking to myself while I was waiting for my internet to come back on, because I just decided to reset the whole modem to see if that would help. And so far it has, but we'll see if that holds up. What I was thinking to myself is like, okay, if I can't stream this, what if I recorded it? But that feels bad because I wanted this stream to specifically be a stream experience where I could, you know, have conversations with other people who do programming, who find the stream and are, you know, following up periodically to see how my progress is going. That obviously doesn't work if I just record it. So I could do like a combined, you know, basically how Casey does it, where I try to stream, but if the internet is failing, and therefore the stream is a mess, then I can upload the recording. I can just keep, you know, programming as if nothing's wrong and then upload the recording. But then I got to deal with uploading videos, and I don't know if I really want to deal with that. What I like about the VODs is that they're just there. Like I do the stream, and then I don't have to think about it. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. We'll just have to see how things go. But I'm not going to put up with this. This is the 3rd time. So this is the last time. It's the next to last time. If this happens again, like on Friday, then that's it. I'm not going to keep putting up with it. Anyway. So what we were trying to do before my internet gave out was that we wanted to add the radius to the updatable bounds to pull in the largest possible entity radius, which I guess is, I think this means 5 meters, right? Not sure what units, but I think we're dealing with meters here when we talk about like what are the bounds of the region that we're simulating. In-game world meters, right? So yeah, I think we're good there. And we'll just see where things move from here.
Or something like this. So that's an entity that's 10 meters large, right, which is pretty big. But maybe someday we accidentally forget and we create one larger than that. So it would be nice to sort of, and it looks like I've even got a thing to calculate this eventually from the maximum value of all entity radius plus their speed. So we know that the update safety margin is now going to be the max entity radius plus whatever the speed per dt is as well here, right? Excuse me. There's always a lot of nose blowing on the stream. I feel like Twitch users are subjected to my colds and allergies, which I don't know if like misery loves company or something. I don't know if like spreading it around is helping me. I don't think it is. Anyway, so we don't actually know what the
Oh, that's sick, man. You don't. That's sick. I can't even say anything else about that.
dt is here. We should probably figure that out. So we'd have a max entity radius and we'd have a max entity velocity, right? And maybe that's, who knows what that is. It's 10 meters per second. I have no idea. But we'd multiply it by the dt. So we'd say, you know what? When you open up a sim region, you got to tell us what the dt is going to be, and then we would just multiply that out. So now we know that the max entity velocity, actually I should put it here, right? Plus dt max entity velocity. So we would basically say, okay, that actually is correct now. And now all we would have to do is actually sort of validate or try to validate that we never exceed these maximums, right? And so we can sort of do that in a loose way, and maybe there's ways. So we could put a to do here that was like.
Okay. So I see. So safety margin for him is just this value that he's going to pass as a vector 3 that he's constructing, using it for x and y but not z. I just have to think about this carefully so that I construct the numbers the way that I should. And I should also make sure that YouTube is actually working. I never checked after the last 3 times I tried to go live. Okay. Okay, so we have max entity radius, max entity velocity. This is going to be I'm just trying to figure out the way to do this so that I don't have to punch in the same thing twice. But we'll just do the calculation. Well, calculation should be like right here. Max entity radius plus dt times, what was that? The max entity velocity. Okay, so that's our safety margin for x and y. But what do we want to call that? I don't know. And what's the problem here? Max, oh, the velocity, I guess, should be, no? What am I missing here? dt is afloat. Okay, we're just not using the expression, right? Well, I guess what we could do is say that this is, yeah, basically to do it the way that I was thinking about doing it before I realized the code was written this way on purpose. It turns out that the way that I was trying to change it to be was a better way anyways. So we're just going to update the z after to be whatever that value is that we want it to be. So split it all to this. X and y will just be that along with the z, but then we override it, and then we're good.
Like to do, try to make these get enforced more rigorously,
And I wrote in that to do earlier completely needlessly. That's great.
But what we can also do is sort of have those here in the sim region. We could just go ahead and say we have max entity radius and max entity velocity, right? And we could set those. So we would say, all right, the sim region sets those, and then when it's doing its processing, it'll check. It'll actually just flat out check.
Okay. So we go to the sim region. We take a look over here. We want to add in both of these. Do we have any other floats on here? Doesn't look like it. Max entity radius and max entity velocity, like so. And then where were we? Over here. Yeah, set these on the sim region. And now they don't need to be declarations. And then, oh, this is just region. What? Oh, because this is called result. The DOI. And then the result members give us that safety margin, and then this is just that result max entity radius. Okay. So that's all looking fine. I guess I should just make sure that we even run, because maybe we don't. We're not passing in DT. So let me just do that really quick. What is it? Input DT for frame. Here goes nothing. Do we run? Are we broken? So far, so good. And we're out of the world again. Okay. Hi, Run Man. I'm curious, what is this? So, what is this indeed? What I am doing is I am learning how to make games. And specifically right now, it's how to make a game engine from Casey Muratori over here. Casey is this gentleman right here. He made a series called Handmade Hero, where he started working on a game from scratch in C and C++ about 10 years ago. And he was streaming this to kind of show people the old way, or perhaps the one true way, how to make games in such a way that you have complete control over all of the ways that your game engine works and all of the capabilities that it has. You're kind of limited by your own ability to do these things. And this seemed like a more interesting way to learn how to make games to me than to use something like Unreal, where you're given all of this utility, but you're also constrained by your understanding of how to use the engine. And because I'm just one of those kinds of people that likes to figure out how things work, I decided I'll follow Handmade Hero, learn from Casey, but I'm doing it in the Odin programming language. And so that's what I've been doing on stream for like 2 to 3 months now. And I don't know, I say this a lot on stream, I don't know where this goes ultimately. I've had this notion that I'll go and prototype games at some point on stream and do kind of like a devlog, where maybe someday I get to a point where I'm actually taking a serious stab at making a game myself, maybe work with some other like-minded people that, maybe share a vision in common with me. But I don't know that that's actually where I'll go. I really have no idea, other than I'm just kind of having fun with it. I enjoy programming, and I enjoy learning about these things that I really had no understanding of before Handmade Hero. And now I'm getting more and more familiar with some of these programming concepts and these different kinds of systems that we've been working on here that Casey's been showing us how to do. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to learn how these things work. And if I don't wind up, let's say we get through, like I've been saying on stream for a while now, and we get to the point where we built like kind of the core components of the engine, and then we do the render in OpenGL. I might get to that stage, and in fact, I can almost guarantee I'll get to that stage, and I won't have all of the tools that I need to go and make a game. because there's still the whole game design part of the equation. That's a whole other thing, and Casey makes a lot of concessions to the fact that he's not a game designer, right? He's a game programmer, and that's just a different skill set. And so the stream might become more about me learning about game design, and that would go hand in hand with prototyping, but it might also be a thing where I just do different graphics programming stuff on stream. And you can kind of think of it in terms of like making a portfolio in a sense, where let's say I wanted to do offer up my services as a contractor, and somebody wanted to know whether I'm the real deal. I could just point them to this channel, and then they could see me doing graphics programming on stream and working with different APIs, whatever, what have you, whatever the thing is that they might need to know for a fact that I can do. I can just point them, go to this video, and I'll do. You can see that I'm actually not full of it. That's one way to think of it. I don't know that that's actually what'll happen either. It's a place for me to learn and experiment and have fun with programming. And it's been very rewarding, and it's made me think of different things that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of if I wasn't doing this. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a pretty long answer, but there you go.
When it's doing stuff to make sure that that's not going on, right? Okay. So first off, what we can do is we can start, well, you know what else I'll do? I'll go up to in here. Let's see. Where is it? Move entity. So in move entity, we know what the velocity actually is, right? We actually have sort of a feel for what that velocity is going to be. And so we can actually check in this entity DP. We can say right here, if entity DP, if the length squared of that is greater than the length squared of whatever that maximum is, max entity velocity, right? So if our velocity for an entity that we would have been computing, if that's going to be above it, we could actually, for now, I guess we could just assert it. In the future, maybe we want to clip it, right? I don't know if that seems like a good idea, but we could basically say, assert that we're always less than whatever that max entity velocity is. And again, I'm just doing the length squared because we don't actually care about what the actual length is. We just want to know if it's greater than or less than. So we don't need to do the square root in there. We can just go ahead and say, check the length squared against each other, and that'll tell us. So what I might say in here is, upgrade physical motion routines to handle capping the maximum velocity so that we just know it would never exceed it. Even if we made some gameplay code that tried to, it just would always cap it. So for now, we'll assert, but then later it seems like it would be a good idea to go ahead and actually enforce that, right? Yeah. So there we go. Let's take a look here. That's right.
I'm not sure what this error is, but is it because this is not? Yeah, it looks, because this is just a float. So why did he mean to make that a vector? That's just kind of weird, right? But I think I get rid of this. Yeah.
So that's not length squared, that's just square. That's already scalar. Okay.
Okay. So he meant to square that, and we don't have a square proc, if I remember right. So we're just going to use pow, and that looks good.
So we've got our DT in here somewhere. So I think it's called DT per frame. Is it? No, it's not. What is it? Where is my DT? DT. It's just input DT, right? Is what we called it? Input DT per frame. Yeah. Close enough. I feel like they should have given that one to me. So I think that should just still work the same way that it was working. Oh, so I guess our entity velocities are much higher than I thought they were. That's a bug. Wait, no, that's not a bug. That actually did mean it exceeded it, right? Because I did not multiply by the DT in begin sim, right? I just stored out, if I remember correctly, I just stored out our max entity velocity, right? Yeah. So yeah, so I guess we're already above 10 meters per second. How fast is 10 meters per second? I don't even know. Let's see. I think we looked this up before. Usain Bolt speed. 23 miles per hour, so 23.5 mph in meters per second. Oh man, he runs just a little bit faster than the maximum velocity. Well, that's okay because we probably want things that can go even faster than Usain Bolt in our game. So we probably want quite a bit faster than that. We probably want something like 30 because at the end of the day, don't forget our frame time step it's dividing out by, that's how much we're growing by. So 30 divided by 30 would only be one meter that we'd actually be expanding by. So that seems fine. That seems fine. Okay, let's try that again. So now at least we'll know. No, wow. All right. So we're still getting some velocities that are higher than that. That's kind of crazy. Wow. Oh, right. I jump faster than that. So our jumping code is a bit wonky. Is jumping at negative 30 meters per second squared, is that? Oh, no. Okay. I know what that is. That's just because our velocity doesn't stop when we hit the ground. Okay. I was like, that's not right. And it's not. So yeah, so what that was since we have not actually done much with our Z motion code yet, when you hit the ground, we don't zero out your velocity. So your velocity is able to just keep building in Z ad infinitum. So really what we need to do when you hit the ground, right, is we need to set your Z velocity to 0 as well, right? Everything should zero out. Yeah. So that, I was just gonna say, what's with that? But that's not true. Yeah, so we should be fine now. I don't think we got a problem now. At least I'm pretty sure we don't. Yeah. So that's all good. That seems fine.
Make sure that it is indeed fine. Oh gosh. That's no good. Why? Why? No, not like this. Not after all this effort to finish this day. What? How can we still be tripping that assert? Did I change the wrong thing? Is my assert wrong? The length squared of the entity's velocity should be less than or equal to the max entity velocities, the max entity velocity squared. Okay, and then in here we set that to 30. So what else has gone wrong for me here?
Seems fine. Okay. Let's try that again.
This is so lame. I don't agree. I do not agree that I should be having this issue. Is that if just wrong? Now we check if the Z is less than 0, and then we zero that out. Yeah, no, so let's just... Oh, this is so annoying. Let's just print that out and see what even is this entity. I mean, if the issue was the player's Z velocity, right, then we would expect, well, maybe I'll just do what he was going to do originally and print out the assert. Yeah, I guess it's because, well, no. How can our Z velocity be that high? Maybe this region max entity velocity is just zeroed for some reason. Let me go in here and make sure max entity velocity. Yeah, no, I mean, it says 30. And if we're squaring it, like, why on earth would the Z velocity be greater than that? That's some horse plot. What? Oh, well, probably helps if I write this conditional correctly. Why the hell does the wall have a velocity value that is anything but 0? Can someone explain this to me? And why is it negative? Gravity is bringing the trees down or something? What? Okay, this... What did I do wrong here? Maybe the assert. Yeah, length squared. Okay. Let's print out that value. Because I don't feel like whatever is being calculated. Yeah, what? That should be less than... The sim region's got to be... This has got to be... This is so wrong. There's no way. What? I don't even... This is breaking my brain right now. How can this possibly be? Region. Yeah, it's got to be zeroed out somehow. For some reason, that is not persisting, and it really should be. Entity velocity. Yeah, why is it 0? That should be 90. Because when we go to begin sim, we're setting it on the result like so. Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. We're zeroing it out. Now, okay, well, let me just back this up. It's annoying, but not as annoying as I thought. Well, how do I want to do this then? I could just calculate them and then assign them down here. I think that's what I'm going to do because I feel like I should be able to give this thing everything it needs when we do this dereference. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'm not happy about it. What the hell? But this is not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so we do this. We rerun. We better not hit that assert again, or I'll throw a fit. Okay. Looks like we're good. Carry on, Casey. Let me see. Let me make sure that I'm where I should be. Yeah, so he zeroes out the velocity in the z direction, and then we're good.
Yeah. So that I was just gonna say, what's with that? But that's not true. Yeah. So we should be fine now. I think there's.
Wish you could just jump yourself into existence. You exist right now. What are you talking about?
I don't think we got. I don't think we got a problem now. At least I'm pretty sure we don't. Yeah. So that's all good. That seems fine. No big deals there. Okay. So that's good. And now we just have one more thing to do before we can complete that to do. We're doing that growing, which is nice, but we need to actually do the rectangle test now, like I said. I just want to do a rectangle test that'll include the dimensions of our actual guys. So what we're going to do is first I'm going to say, let's go ahead and make their actual width height. I'm gonna just make that be like a dim, like their dimension, right? So they'll have like a width, height, and a depth now, right? And so I'm just going to change all the code that used to be width and height and change that to be actually using the dimension, right? So this will be dim x.
Okay, so that's an easy enough change to make. Make sure I don't get turned around here. Yeah, so we'll just do that. And do we have any other vectors on here? We do. And it is a V3, so let me actually confirm that. Yeah. So anywhere, why am I recording? Don't do that. Anywhere, we were doing that before. Where was that? Line 720. So this should just be off the X and Y. And same thing here. Where else? Up here. Sim dim. We change the Y. And we change the X. This happens off of sim dim Y, and then we're good. Entity low sim dim. I feel dim-witted. We're gonna have to do that everywhere, huh? Probably makes more sense just to do this like whoops, like this. And then we can do that, I think. Right? Was the Y 0.5? It was. Okay. Was that it? Nope. Okay, so this is the same thing. I like that we're doing this because it gives me, I really like that he did this because it gives us a chance to think about how things would work for a 3D game. Maybe he does that off of impulse more than anything else because he does have more 3D experience than 2D, just based off of what I understand of his career. But I kind of like that because, I don't know, I'm ambitious like that. I want to know how 3D games work, even though they're supposed to be tougher, especially for smaller teams to work on. But you never know. Maybe I'll get to work on a big team someday. And then this is the same thing. So just do that, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I think we should be good. Not if we're a simulation, just jump into reality. You know, reality is what you make of it. And yeah, a simulation. I mean, in some real sense, it does feel like life gets simulated to a large extent today with how much people engage with technology and the extent to which they do that. I mean, it's all kind of about your perspective on it, I guess.
Right, and this will be dim Y. So, and then we'll go in here, and I guess I can just change sim.height to sim.dim.x. Oops, .y. There we go. And then I can do sim.width and change that to sim.dim.x. And that should do that. And again, presumably now our collision detection still works okay. It does. So that's good. Everyone's happy. Yeah, okay. And so really all I need to do now is start giving these guys some Z at some point, but honestly, we don't really care about that right now. So all we need to do to finish up this particular part to do is inside the sim region, we would like to actually, excuse me. Oh, you know what? We're actually even using it in here. So we could just start doing this instead of that nonsense. We could just say, all right, let's start using the Z. Of course, there isn't one, so that's fine. But at least we're using it now. There we go. So there we've got our X, Y, and Z dimensions. So that's fine. Is this, though, shouldn't these be halves? Yes, they are. So that's my calculated diameter, not the radius, so that's fine. Yeah, so that's all good. So then all I have to do is modify my rectangle check. And I think that's all we really need to do for now. And then we can end right on time in a nice, pleasant fashion. So when I'm doing that, I think what I want to do here is when I do my is inside rectangle, I've got two is in rectangle calls, right? I've got here and here. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just ask if the rectangles overlapped. And so I think I'm just going to go ahead and do a special purpose call for that does the math in there so that I don't have to do it in two different places, since I'm already doing it in two places. So I think I'm going to do is just say if entity overlaps, right? Rectangle. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, we've got a desc P. I don't know that I want to actually pass the actual entity here. So I think all I want to do is I just want to pass the rectangle, right? So what I'll do is I'll say, all right, got our desc P, here's our rectangle, and then I need to actually pass the dimension of that guy. So desc dim, right? Entity overlaps rectangle. So that basically. And then later when we do is inside rectangle here, that would be the same thing. That'd be entity overlaps rectangle. We'd pass whatever that sim space P was, and then we'd also pass the low sim dim, right? And then I just have to implement this function. So I need to make a little function here, which returns a Boolean, right? I think this is probably just a really simple function.
We'll see just how simple it is, Casey. Low sim dim, and then the sim space P, is that it? Where was that other call? Is it just low here as well? No, result. I think we can just call result dim. I think that's true. There we go. And then we just need to write that. So entity overlaps rect. And that'll take the sim space P, which was, are both of these, hold on, hold the phone. Both of those are vector 3s, so that's good. And then updatable bounds is going to be a rectangle 3, I believe. And then we return a bool. There we go.
And what that's going to do is going to take the P, the dimension, and then the rectangle 3 for the bounds, right? So I think I will probably do this by just doing the Minkowski thing. That seems like the easiest thing to do for now. So I guess what I would say is a grown rectangle equals add, what do we call it? Add radius 2, right? I think we'll just do that. We'll add half the dimension so that it grows. I'm pretty sure, in fact, we could actually have an add diameter 2 call as well. Add radius 2, which does that half. So this doesn't do it by, we'll just leave it this way, because we'd have to just multiply by half. So we'll just leave it this way. And we'll do an add radius 2. That'll expand our test region by the dimension that we're looking for, and then we can just go ahead and return the result, which is inside rectangle again, but with that grown rectangle. And now we test the P again, and we're done, right? So that's really all I want to do there. And now we're actually testing for overlapping as well, which should just prevent us from having bugs in the future where we're missing some entities that we should otherwise be getting. And that's about it. So there really isn't much more to it. That's all there is. All right. So I think that basically we're a little ahead of time here, but I guess that's basically all I wanted to do today.
So cannot assign what? Can I assign, wait, what? That doesn't seem right. It's definitely a rect. So why am I trying to pass in a vector 3? Where was that? Line 265. I just got the order all messed up. That's right, because he put the position up front now, and now I think we're good. All right. If all goes well, I think we're done for today. And it looks like we are. Sweet. Okay. Catastrophic internet issues aside, not too bad. Not too bad.
We figured out that. I'm going to put our for instances in here. So I think all we really have to do now is actually figure out how we want to handle the kind of going up and down things, and it's gonna be some work because we don't really know what we want to do there, and we don't have a lot to go on. So that's definitely going to be some explorations going on to for us tomorrow. So it does seem like we probably get to that. I don't know if we'll get to this stuff before the end of the week. Probably not. But we should be able to at least get done with our Z stuff, and so that's good. Yeah, looks like we got a lot of good stuff coming up here. I'm looking forward to this. This should be pretty good. But we're pretty much done for today. So let me go ahead and start the Q&A here. I will go ahead and tell the bot that it is time for Q&A. If you would like.
All right. Well, there was a chance. There was a window of opportunity where I could have stuck around for a few questions with Casey, but tragically not, thanks to the internet. I'm going to go start enjoying the holiday with my family. Thanks, Devil. You have a nice Thanksgiving as well. And any of you out there watching, all of you that are out there watching, I am terribly sorry for the VODs getting jacked up and split in half. 2 streams in a row now, 3 streams in a row. That is just terribly terrible. Like I said at the beginning of the second half here, I don't know what to do about it. It may just make me have to seriously reconsider the format of this channel and what it should be. But we'll be back on Friday, and we'll do day 73. And if that stream turns into a train wreck as well because of technical problems, then I think that'll be it for the stream as it has been. But that doesn't mean that I won't keep going along this journey for as long as I see fit with Handmade and thus Odinmade Hero. So yeah, look forward to seeing you Friday. Have a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate that. And that'll be that. Still don't know if I'll stream later on in the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday. Probably not at this point. All the technical issues have just beat me down this week. So that's that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.